Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Waiting Game, Chapter 35. So grateful that you're here with us. I'm Victoria L. We have Miss Sheree. We got Maggie.
What's up?
Hey.
And we got Tonya. And so we're grateful that you're here. Thank you for chilling with us. We thank you for looking at us. We thank you for us all the time. Keep watching the videos. We're just trying to be hopeful in these times and inspire you guys. So, Maggie, hello. What are we talking about today?
Hey, everybody. So if you've been following us and watching us, last week we had an episode about how we grew up, what we saw in our households, what we saw in our friends' parents, and our mentality on how our relationship should look today and how that has impacted us. So we wanted to have a part 2 because you saw all of my girls open up and we were going deep and really sharing our experiences. So we want to continue down that path and see where it takes us and help us unpack all of that information that we were saying. So Sheree, Tonya, Victoria, I'm going to pass it back to you guys to finish telling us your stories and your experiences and now how that's shaping you today, and maybe lead into even, is it okay if our parents don't accept our mate and the relationship is not okay in their eyes? So take it over, please.
So I guess I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Okay. So that's been on my heart a lot about, is it okay if they don't? I love my parents. They do a lot for me. But where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line and say, hey, I know I want you to know that I care about you, and everything that I do, I try to consider you because I respect you and I love you. But and it would be great if my mate could get along with my parents. One less headache that I would have to deal with. And I think in my mind, in my heart of hearts, now we just, outside of me just being like whatever, in my heart of hearts, I would want my parents to like my mate. I would. So we could just get along and not have no problems, and they could be like a second son. That's what I would like.
Right. So I'm like thinking, what if they're like gung-ho, no, I don't want you to be in a relationship with this person because I just don't like them. And they can't give you like a valid reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you still date this person? Like, would you still consider their stuff and be like on like hesitant about dating this person? Would you just be like, I don't care what you say, I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna do me, okay?
I would step out, no shade. I would, you know what? That's why I love my village. Because I would talk to my friends who I trust and love, not all of them, And then I would talk to the spiritual mothers that we have as well. And at the end of the day, I'm going to pray about it. And somebody ain't going to like them, it's okay.
Right?
Right.
That's like sometimes.
But after how long should you, because you might be deep in love with them. And so how long, let's say now, how long do you date somebody before you even introduce them to your parents? Because me personally, like right now, if we're just dating, I'm not gonna introduce you to my parents. I mean, let alone, my son. So I'm not even going to, I'll talk about my family, about maybe, around him, talk about my family and what I'm doing with my family. But as far as actually introduce him to my family, like we have to be exclusive. We have to already be in a committed relationship for me to even, because my parents don't live here. Well, y'all parents live here. So my parents don't live here. So for me to even bring up and be like, I'm dating somebody, it got to be serious. Well, Tonya, that's a good question. Like, at what point do you have, especially with our parents being local, at what point would you introduce somebody? And y'all know me from high school and junior high, like my house was the place to be. So if I was talking to somebody or y'all was talking to somebody, my parents was gonna meet the dude, whatever. But then now that I'm older and after college, I didn't want anybody to know where my parents lived. I didn't want no dudes. No one could be stalkers. Like, you don't need to know anything about my personal business, right? So now I'm like, I think to your point, if you're already exclusive, I think that, I shouldn't say that's too late, but it's almost like you want your parents to be able to meet them, see, gauge what they think about them. So I think it's maybe right before that exclusive, but you know you are truly going down that path, like this is your next step. Let's go ahead and possibly introduce them. Because exclusive and we in love and this is what we doing, mama and daddy.
They should have known.
You know, I'm just doing a courtesy. Y'all already know, right? Because this is where we are now. But really, what you have to say, I love you, but this is where we are, right? And so that's kind of how I see it. I definitely want my parents' approval. I would love to have their approval.
Me too. I would. Yes.
But what are the reasons? Are they shallow reasons or are they real reasons? I think my daddy could be finicky and be shallow a little bit. I love you, daddy, but I think he could be a little shallow. You know, it's just what are the real reasons? And if they're true, which I think our parents would not at the end of the day have shallow reasons, it would truly be if they have a concern, it would be a serious concern because I think they know how they raised us. I think they trust us. And I think, you know, we can make the right decisions for ourselves.
Okay.
Well, see, when you just said that, like we can make the right decisions for ourselves, but also you just said like our parents know us, but in the midst of knowing us, do they really know us that we can make these rightful decisions? You know what I mean? Or is it the spirit telling them, hey, don't date this person because of this, that, and the third?
But you know, has y'all parents, have any of y'all's parents ever flat out came out and been like, no, that ain't it. That's what I'm saying.
My mama said, he's a playboy. He's been around too long. He's not serious. He's not serious. You need to move on. She's done flat out said, yes, she's told me that for a couple of people.
But on the first meeting, no, baby.
No, not the first meeting. Not the first meeting.
After a while, she come out and be like,
because your mother sees that it's not going nowhere. If your mother sees that it ain't going nowhere and that he's a playboy and all this, she gonna speak up. Hello. Yeah. That's my mother too. My mama's like that too. But at some point, like, you have got to make a decision on your own. I think that we've been trained. That's another thing that parents, I think that they're going to have to deal with, that they put all this in us, you know what I mean? And they have to trust that they did that we're not going to be out here doing crazy regardless. Now, everybody has their moments. We're kids. You know, we're not kids. You know, they see us as kids. But they see us. Okay. It don't matter how old we are. 35. They still see us as kids. But I think you have to make a decision that's best for you. Like, I thank God I haven't been in a situation, but I know this. My mama, love your mama, but she stayed with the prayer warriors, honey, and she'll pray them away. She will pray them guys away.
Sure would.
They do. Yep, I'm thinking about that time. Y'all know about that time where I dated this dude with a full-blown different religion.
Yes.
And I don't think neither one of my parents came out and was flat out. Well, yes, they did. When I told my dad about the religion, he was like, "Oh, hell no!" When they wearing that mask, they doing y'all know. And I was trying to be calm. I was like, "Oh, he's a good guy. He's caring." So I was trying to be, a full blown different religion. And so, I was trying to.
You what, girl? Yes. I remember him very well.
I remember him. I had the barbecue.
Yes.
Sheree's mother had to confront him and was like, What she said? What she said?
She said he's about how he's a man. I'm saying he's a chauvinistic man. How he's a male chauvinistic. I'm telling you, and how he is against women. She just really went in. She went in. She didn't know this man but 2 seconds.
Right.
Yep. And about a week after that, it was like
prayed him away.
He was gone. So it was like she had our back because I was like, oh, he had got mad when he had got confronted by,
because women aren't supposed to speak up in his religion. That's why.
Yeah, in his religion, right.
And then after that, I was just like, oh, that ain't gonna work because y'all already know. But
so I guess my question to you guys are, as a friend, do you think that as a friend, do you think that we would be honest and speak up to each other and say, hey, sis, this man ain't for you. He don't want you.
I mean, I think at one point I tried, but I think it was my approach. And I don't think it went over well. Mm-hmm. So I did retreat back a little bit because I know me back then. Like my approach was not okay. Okay.
Right.
So,
yes.
It wasn't okay at all. But now I think I'm able to voice my concerns, but in a loving way. So I don't think if we ever would say, like, if we ever see something in each other's man or just in general that we won't say nothing. I think right now we'll say it in a loving way because I mean we've grown a lot together and apart. So I think we will. I really do think so.
What you think, Maggie?
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely think we will say something. I think we'll give it time because I think for our friendship, we realized, just like Tonya said, with the dude she was dating in that religion,
we already knew.
At some point, you have to let each of us live out our journey.
Yes.
Right. But it can only go so far before we say something and like, do you really see, are your eyes open or are you stuck on something else? Because we don't want you to go down this path knowing all of the red flags that we see. So I think we respect our friendships enough to, hey, Maggie, you going down this path, go down there a few steps, but then I'm gonna start saying something. And I think we love each other, trust each other, and know each other enough to know we really have our best interest at heart. And it's not about being jealous, about being about the situation, territorial. It's really like, sis, watch out. So I think we're at that point now in our lives where we're like, it's serious. We're not 21 anymore. We're not 16. No. It's time to be that woman about it and be willing to say something. So yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So, Tonya, you think so as well?
Oh, go ahead. After Tonya, I got a comment. Go ahead.
What? Yeah, I think so. I think we pretty much let each other know the warning signs, like Maggie said, but within our friendship, we let us choose how we're going to receive it and what we're going to do about it. Like, I'm not going to specifically tell you what to do. And like, you need to dump him now, or even if we see some shady stuff, we're going to let you know about it, but then it's on you what you choose to do with it. And I feel like that's good, because you don't want to feel like within our friendship, we don't feel like you don't want anybody being overbearing and pushing you and trying to, dictate what you have to do in your life, things like that. Even with older people, I think it's always good to come from a place of love, always good to say what you've seen as far as red flags and what you would do or what you have done in that position. Because I think a lot of times my mom tries to parent that way, where she talks about an experience that she's already had in a situation like that, and she tries to say, and this is what I did. So, you take from it what you want, but I've had a similar situation like that, and this is what I did, and this is how I handle it. So she kind of talks from a place kind of like that, to where she doesn't seem like she's trying to tell me exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty much kind of how I try to treat our friendships too. I try to just go off of my experience or what I've seen, and then let you, because we all grown, we all over 35. So
Yes.
we are pretty much independent, living on our own. And so you kind of have to do what you can in life, because you're going to have those hiccups in life. But I think that it's ultimately up to you to determine what you're going to do with the information and how you're going to go from there once you receive that information, or if you even receive it. So.
Mm-hmm. So what I was thinking about is, how y'all know I bring a lot of people around. I think, I just like people in general, and it could be friends, it could be boyfriends, it could be anybody. Y'all, I'm always bringing somebody new. Okay.
Randoms. Yes.
Right? They do be random. Yeah, that happened. But when it come down to dating, I'm always hesitant to bring people around. For one, hindsight 2020, I see that my discernment was on 100. Like, I knew who should be around, I knew who should not be around. Even though I probably brought them, one person in particular, Tommy. Even though I brought Tommy, y'all, I already knew.
Code name, yes.
I already knew what was going to happen. I already knew like how you guys would react because of what I've seen myself. But it was just great to like bring them and then really get y'all's opinion just off the GP. I was like, okay, bet. Like, I don't need to take him to mom's. I don't need to do any of that, because that ain't it. That ain't it. So with that being said, I feel more comfortable, for me, from my experiences from my childhood, I feel more comfortable bringing my guys to you guys first, and then to my mom. Because I feel like my mom have her own perceived notions about certain things. And I feel like sometimes, like I said before, sometimes I feel like she don't know me, but not only that, she don't realize how smart I am, or she doesn't realize how my discernment is legit. Like, I'm not just bringing you somebody because, oh, I'm feeling all these feelings. No. Like, my mind goes to all scenarios. I'll be questioning everything. Like, I'm bringing him to you because I really feel this way. I really feel like we could marry. Like, I feel like we're going down that path. And I want to respect you enough to be like, hey, here's this person. And the reason why I said that, because like I said, I don't bring people around my mom. It was only one person, two people that I brought around her. And that's for a reason. But for her, she felt some type of way when I didn't bring Tommy around, and she realized that I was hanging out with Tommy. And I had to tell her, I said, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but to me, if I'm going to bring him around you, then he has to be a person that I know for sure that I want to get to know him, not even get to know him, but to marry him. So if I'm not going to marry this person, I'm not about to bring him around you. But she felt salty. Like, I was trying to hide something. And I'm like, you really don't know me then, because that's not what it was. It's because I'm grown. I'm doing this. Yeah, it might not have been okay, but I am dating this person to see if I want to bring him around you, to see if I want to be in a marriage with this man. So it's not like I'm trying to hide anything from you.
But see, that's the thing. Have they seen us in those experiences? Have they seen us make those decisions now that we've been grown? I would beg to differ. They have not seen our thought processes when it comes to dating, because we're waiting. We're 35 and single. We have not had that many serious relationships where we have brought men around the family and connected to the friends and family that they've seen. So they don't truly know our thought processes around when it comes to bringing men around. They just know they haven't really seen many, right? And the ones that they've seen are no longer in the picture. So they don't have that track record with us where they built up that trust of who are these men. Oh, I was about to say another word. Who are these men that we are bringing around in this scenario, right? So I
know what
think
you were about to
we
say.
have to give them a little like, you're right. Maybe your mom doesn't know you in that manner, right? Maybe she hears you talking about somebody and she's like, well, dang, if Ree is hanging and giving this man this much attention, why can't I meet him? But we have our reasons for not to meet them until we know and we're solid. Like we said from the beginning.
Which is different from our brothers. Okay.
Girl.
Because our siblings did a little different. They brought them in our face. But I know they brought them in our face. But I think that when they got more, the people that they started getting serious about, they was like, well, this is my decision. And it's different though with men. I'm telling you, my brothers, it's different with men. We don't have the luxury of doing whatever they do. We don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. And I'm not gonna put my brother's business out there.
Me either.
We don't. We can't rock like them. We can't roll like them. It's just not in the books, not in the cards. No.
Right at all.
So I think that everyone, thank you so much. For anybody have any last words that they want to talk about with this? Like, this is actually a deep topic, like, because we're getting older and it's happening. Even us not knowing, it's happening. We're not going to be lonely forever. Like, I live around the corner from my parents, but that's not going to be forever. Because when I get a husband, we might be around the corner, but you will not be. It's going to be what it's going to be up in this house. It's not going to be, I don't have to be like, hello, Dad, where you, no. When we have time, we shall come. That's just what it's going to be. And I think that's going to be tough for our parents too. I will give them that. They have to adjust the way they adjust. And my parents adjust in the way that they feel like they can adjust. So anybody have any last comments before we close it out about the parents and dating? Yeah.
I would just say, thank you, ladies, for sharing, and thank you for being open about your relationships with your parents, because that's difficult too, because knowing in the dating world, they're always coming from a standpoint of being a parent, yet they want to also still be that friend to be in our business now that we're older and inquire about our relationship. So we have to be mindful of that too, that they will always see us as their little girls, and but yet they also now, all of our moms, they know that we're grown, so they kind of want us to talk about our relationships and talk about the things that we've been through, and we just have to be very mindful. And still, I'm glad that we have good relationships with all four of our mothers, and any one of them can come to us and say what we've seen within our relationships or within another man. So I'm grateful for that. And I just want to thank all of our parents, our mothers and our fathers, for being in our lives and being able to take on that parent role and taking us on as their extended family. So kudos to all of our parents. And especially with Father's Day coming up and things like that, and Mother's Day passing, and we appreciate them especially for being in our lives and be able to have discernment and tell us about ourselves when we need to be checked.
All the time. All the time.
All the time.
All the time. Not just when they want. All the time.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this leads me to say this. Would you, and we'll cover this clearly on the next show, would you tell your friends if you see their little man that they like out in these streets acting crazy, or something about their other? Ooh. You know something about them and what they're doing. Do you bring it back to your friends, or do you just cover your friend and don't say nothing and just be having an attitude when you're around the guy? What'd you tell them?
Okay. Oh my gosh.
So we're going to cover that on the next show. We thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, The Waiting Game Chapter 35, on Instagram, The Waiting Game Chapter 35. Be safe in these streets. Please, when you watch the video, watch the old videos too. You know, we on episode 5, honey. So since you got 1, 2, 3, and 4 to catch up, go ahead and watch it. Be safe and share it with other people. We love you guys and thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.